I wanted this first editorial of the year to begin on a hopeful note, to set expectations, look forward, and talk about what we can build together. But that's not possible today. Some of you may have seen this video from Sikkim. If you haven't seen this video, chances are that you've seen a similar one.
सिक्किम बॉय ने जब इनके लिए वीडियो बनाया, ये लोग ने ये वो सब गाली दिया ये बंदे ने.
You see, this video alone is not the issue. It is neither exclusive to Sikkim nor to the Northeast. Here's an example from Arunachal 2025. Another one from Mizoram. And here we travel across to the fabulous Taj Mahal. And this, another hilly place, Himachal Pradesh. And of course, how can Delhi be left behind? This is not a Sikkim problem, as I said earlier. This is not a Northeast problem. This is an India problem. I could show you dozens of such videos. I won't, because that would turn into a feature-length documentary on how casually we disrespect public spaces. I won't even get into the shock on foreigners' faces when they see people throwing garbage from trains into rivers and fields. We all know this reality. What is changing now is the response. Parts of Meghalaya are shutting tourist sites on weekends to control crowds. Shishu village in Himachal shut down tourism for 40 days to protect religious and cultural spaces. These are not anti-tourism decisions. These are survival decisions. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When you think of Kohima, do you picture a scenic hill city or piles of burning waste? When you think of Meghalaya, do you picture waterfalls, crystal clear rivers, or Burniat, one of the most polluted places in the world? Social media influencers would like you to believe that Northeast is some ecological paradise inhabited by model citizens. Locals live with a very different reality. Remember that. And yet, even today, we are still debating something as basic as civic sense. Look at these tourist videos. These are not the rich or the powerful acting above the law. These are ordinary people, regular citizens like us, who behave as if buying a ticket means owning a place. This lack of civic sense cuts across class, caste, religion, and region. Education and money clearly don't help when fundamental responsibility is treated as optional. Honestly, I've stopped wondering where this confidence comes from. If there's one thing that truly unites us Indians, it's our ability to behave terribly in public places and feel entitled while doing so. And here's the part we don't think about enough. There is a direct link between bad tourism and growing fears around indigenous rights. Take Sikkim. In 2025, the state received about 17 lakh tourists. That may sound modest until you remember Sikkim's population is barely 7 lakhs. Now, the number of voters in the state is smaller than the winning margins in some mainland constituencies. Tourism is often sold as an economic solution. And yes, it creates livelihoods, but it also brings traffic, pressure on resources like water scarcity, and even taxi scarcity for locals in Gangtok when the tourist season is in full bloom. Cultural intrusion, remember? And most visibly, garbage and bad behavior. When locals repeatedly experience disrespect, the takeaway is simple: more outsiders mean more problems. This is why demands for protection like the ILP, inner line permit, grow stronger. We'll have a separate explainer for it soon. A handful of irresponsible tourists end up shaping public opinion far more than hundreds of responsible ones. This isn't unique to Sikkim. Look at Mizoram. Now, until recently, Mizoram wasn't a major tourist destination. Geography and connectivity kept it that way. That is changing. Now, a new railway line near Aizawl and aggressive social media visibility have brought in a sudden surge of visitors without the groundwork of long term tourism planning. Mizoram correspondent Kimi Colney recently wrote about this shift. And when you watch videos from Mizoram, local anxieties become very easy to understand. Remember, Mizo society is built on close knit communities, shared norms, and quiet social discipline that is there. Behavior that may pass unnoticed elsewhere creates friction here, especially when tourists treat churches, villages, and community spaces as content backdrops. This isn't just about bad manners, it's about cultural control. When religious and communal spaces are reduced to Instagram reels, communities, people begin to feel that they are losing ownership over their own traditions. This discomfort quickly turns into resistance. Social media worsens this by selling Mizoram and much of the Northeast as uniformly clean, peaceful, progressive, and problem free. I saw a recent video by an influencer, and he said that Sikkim was corruption free like Japan. Please ask us Sikkimese before making such claims. Now, what do these narratives do? These narratives attract tourists but ease and erase real issues: infrastructure limits, economic inequality, and social tensions. When exaggerated, expectations collide with reality. Locals bear the cost. And all it takes is one angry exchange, one local snapping at an influencer or a tourist to explode with claims of reverse racism. I will deal with that absurd phrase some other day in some other editorial. To be clear, this is not an argument against tourism. Nagaland's Hornbill Festival is a powerful example of tourism done right. In 10 days, Nagaland sees more visitors than some states do in a year. And it significantly supports the local economy, also because there's a year long buzz about Nagaland. Meghalaya festivals do something similar. But here's the line that cannot be crossed. If tourists don't learn to behave, if they do not respect local customs, dignity, and limits, then one day the backlash will be ugly. The Northeast is already under immense social, political, and ecological pressure. The last thing it needs is a tourism becoming another wound. Tourism isn't the enemy, bad tourists are. And unless we address that honestly, more doors will shut. Not because locals hate visitors, but because they are tired of being disrespected in their own homes. If you like our work, support us. A cup of good coffee costs around 200 rupees. Our monthly membership is just 199. That choice can keep independent journalism alive. Support us at eastmojo.com. Log on and become a member. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to East Mojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.